Welcome to Golden Flame Stars. Today, we journey back to the golden age of classic Hollywood, a time when the silver screen shimmered with timeless beauty, unforgettable talent, and legendary charm. But behind the dazzling spotlight lay hidden sorrows, buried scandals, and personal battles carefully kept from public view. In this episode, we unveil the untold stories behind the icons who shaped an era, stole the hearts of millions, and left behind a legacy both magical and haunting. Farrah Fawcett, born in 1947 in Corpus Christi, Texas, was America's golden girl, famous for her feathered hair, dazzling smile, and breakout role in Charlie's Angels. Though she was known for beauty, her acting depth surprised many. In the 1980s, she delivered powerful performances in The Burning Bed, 1984, and Extremities, 1986, breaking away from her sex symbol image. Privately, Farrah endured abusive relationships, including a turbulent romance with actor Ryan O'Neal. She also struggled with betrayal, tabloid pressure, and the battle to be seen as a serious actress. Her fight against anal cancer became a public story of dignity and pain. She passed away in 2009 at age 62, just hours before Michael Jackson, marking a day of national mourning. Harold Ramis, born in 1944 in Chicago, was a comedic genius whose sharp mind shaped the humor of a generation. Behind the camera and on screen, he brought intelligence and warmth to the wildest stories. In the 1980s, he shone in Ghostbusters, 1984, and Stripes, 1981, both of which became instant comedy classics. While beloved by colleagues, Ramis struggled privately with strained relationships, including a painful fallout with longtime friend Bill Murray. He also quietly battled autoimmune inflammatory vasculitis in his final years, which eventually left him partially paralyzed. Despite his suffering, he remained gracious and witty until the end. Harold Ramis passed away in 2014 at age 69, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and intellect that redefined Hollywood comedy. Richard Harris, born in 1930 in Ireland, was the ultimate rebel poet of cinema. In the 1980s, he delivered towering performances in The Field, 1989, and Triumphs of a Man Called Horse, 1983, bringing fierce dignity to rugged roles. But Harris was as famous for his wild off-screen life as for his films, an unapologetic hellraiser addicted to drink, brawls, and scandal. He once claimed he drank every actor under the table and ruined multiple marriages with his temper. Despite the chaos, his raw passion won him deep respect. He died in 2002, aged 72, from Hodgkin's lymphoma, just weeks after finishing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. His death marked the loss of a voice as thunderous as it was human. Roy Shider, born in 1932 in New Jersey, became the face of tension and moral resolve in 1970s and 80s cinema. Though most remembered for Jaws, he delivered unforgettable 1980s performances in Blue Thunder, 1983, and 2010, The Year We Make Contact, 1984. With intense eyes and a haunted calm, he embodied men walking the edge. Off-screen, Shider battled chronic illness and professional frustrations as studios pushed him into formulaic roles. He despised being typecast and often clashed with producers over artistic control. In his final years, he suffered from a rare blood cancer. Roy Shider passed away in 2008 at age 75 from complications of multiple myeloma, leaving behind a legacy of principled, intelligent performances. Richard Griffiths, born in 1947 in Yorkshire, England, was a towering talent with a booming voice and unmatched theatrical presence. He brought equal power to comedy and tragedy, both on stage and screen. His standout 1980s roles included With Nail and I, 1987, and A Private Function, 1984, where he blended arrogance with unexpected vulnerability. Off-screen, Griffiths battled childhood obesity and deep insecurity, stemming from a deaf father and a childhood filled with silence. Though generous and kind to fellow actors, he was famously harsh with unprofessional behavior on set. In 2013, following heart surgery complications, he passed away at age 65, just as a new generation was discovering him through Harry Potter. His absence left a quiet void in British acting. Peter Eustanov, born in 1921 in London, was more than an actor. He was a wit, a writer, and a global diplomat of the arts. In the 1980s, he charmed audiences as the iconic Hercule Poirot in Evil Under the Sun, 1982, and 13 at Dinner, 1985. With his rumbling voice and sly humor, Eustanov was both beloved and intimidating. Privately, he struggled with feeling alienated in Hollywood, often mocking the industry's superficiality. Despite a reputation for warmth, he was known to feud with directors and quietly resented being boxed into eccentric genius roles. He died in 2004 at age 82 from heart failure in Switzerland, where he spent his final years advocating for UNICEF and world peace, leaving behind a legacy of grace and complexity. Brian Keith, born in 1921 in Bayonne, New Jersey, had a rugged charm that made him a household name for decades. Often cast as gruff but loving father figures, he carried quiet strength into every role. In the 1980s, he starred in The Mountain Men, 1980, and the TV series Hardcastle and McCormick, 1983 to 1986, where his stoic presence stole scenes. But behind the warmth was deep tragedy. He battled depression after the suicide of his daughter Daisy in 1997, and his health was rapidly declining. Struggling with cancer and emphysema, he took his own life just weeks after her death. Brian Keith passed away in 1997 at age 75, his death a heartbreaking close to a deeply personal story. Paul Winfield, born in 1939 in Los Angeles, California, was a trailblazing actor known for dignity, gravitas, and breaking racial barriers. Openly gay in an industry that demanded silence, he carved space for complexity and grace. In the 1980s, he gave acclaimed performances in The Terminator, 1984, as Lieutenant Traxler, and King, 1988, playing Martin Luther King Jr. Off-screen, Winfield endured the quiet pain of hiding his identity for much of his early career. He remained with his partner Charles Gillen Jr. for 30 years, until Gillen's death in 2002. Just 2 years later, Winfield died from a heart attack in 2004 at age 64, leaving behind a legacy of strength and quiet courage. Paul Scoffield, born in 1922 in Sussex, England, was a master of classical drama, an actor's actor who disdained the spotlight. A private and humble man, he chose roles based on truth rather than fame. In the 1980s, he brought gravitas to a delicate balance, 1983, and When the Whales Came, 1989, both filled with quiet emotional weight. Scoffield avoided Hollywood's temptations, turning down lucrative roles to remain loyal to the stage. He rarely gave interviews and lived modestly in the countryside with his wife of 60 years. Despite arthritis and declining health, he continued to perform well into his 70s. Paul Scoffield passed away in 2008 at age 86, leaving behind a legacy defined by integrity, depth, and unmatched presence. Michael Jeter, born in 1952 in Tennessee, brought gentle soul and quirky brilliance to every role he played. In the 1980s, he stood out with moving performances in Zelig, 1983, and The Money Pit, 1986, where his quiet charisma and quirky vulnerability began to shine. Behind his endearing presence was a man battling deep personal demons, drug addiction, alcoholism, and the stigma of being openly gay in Hollywood. Though he found love and recovery in the 1990s, his earlier pain lingered. In 2003, just months after filming The Polar Express, Jeter died suddenly of complications related to epilepsy and HIV. His death at 50 shocked friends and fans alike, silencing a quiet but unforgettable talent far too soon. Thank you for watching. We hope this glimpse into the hidden lives of 1980s Hollywood icons left you inspired and reflective. Their fame was dazzling, but their stories were far deeper. Like, subscribe, and share your favorite 1980s stars in the comments. More unforgettable legacies await, so join us next time as we journey through Hollywood's golden past.